Today we shall study about the F block elements. We have lanthanum 57 which belongs to D block. Lanthanides are called as 4F transition, includes 14 elements, atomic and ionic radii, which is also called as lanthanoid contraction. Lanthanides show common oxidation state of +3, but some of the elements Hello my dear students, welcome back to the last session on the chapter D and F block elements. Last class we studied about potassium permanganate. Today we shall study about the F block elements. F block elements contains 28 elements from atomic number 58 to 71 called as lanthanoids and atomic number 90 to 103 which are called as actinoids. Now, what are F block elements and what's the definition? See, the elements in which the last or differentiating electron enters the anti-penultimate shell, that is the n-2 F, are called as F block elements. Now, for example, what is anti-penultimate shell? The ultimate shell is the last shell. Just one shell before that is penultimate shell. One more shell behind that we call it as anti-penultimate shell. For example, ultimate shell is 6. 6 is the last shell. So, penultimate shell will be 5th shell and the anti-penultimate shell will be 4th shell. So, the F orbital of the anti-penultimate shell will be filling up. Then, we call them as F block elements. Okay. So, in lanthanoids, the 4F shell is gradually filled and with the increasing atomic number, hence they are called as 4F transition series, and actinoids 5F subshell is filled, so it's called as 5F transition series. The entire F block elements is also called as inner transition elements. Why exactly? You can understand here. So, we have lanthanum 57 which belongs to D block and actinium which belongs to D block. Now, after lanthanum, you have 14 elements which is there. That is from 58 to 71. We call them as lanthanoids. Okay. After 71, you can see 72, 73, 74. It is continuing again in D block elements, isn't it? So, you are pulling out the 14 elements inside from D block element, or they are picked out from within the D block elements and they separated out and kept as F block elements. That's the reason it is called as inner transition elements. Okay. Same way, 89 is actinium which is D block element. 90 to 103, 14 elements is F block elements. From 104, it is again continuing in D block elements. That's the reason we call them as inner transition series or inner transition elements. Now, also after lanthanum as they are coming, they are called as lanthanoids. After actinium they are there, that's why they are called as actinoids. Okay. So, these two lines which we have, or these two rows which we have, we call them as F block elements. Okay. Next is about lanthanoids. We learn only about the lanthanoids. Lanthanoids are called as 4F transition, includes 14 elements, from cerium atomic number 58 to lutetium atomic number 71. These elements fill up 4F subshell gradually. Okay, 1, 2, 3. We know that for F orbital can take up maximum of 14 electrons. So, each electron gets added up to the F orbital and these 14 elements we call them as lanthanoids. Okay. These elements constitute the first inner transition series. That's the first line of the inner transition series. What is the electronic configuration of lanthanoids? The general electronic configuration is after xenon, it is 4F1 to 14, 5D1, 6S2. Okay. So, here 1 to 14 electrons are getting filled up. So, after xenon, it is 4F1 to 14, 5D1, 6S2. 2. This is the general electronic configuration for lanthanoids. Next is about their properties. Atomic and ionic radii, which is also called as lanthanoid contraction. You're going to study about lanthanoid contraction here, and it's a very important question. So what is lanthanoid contraction and what is its link with atomic and ionic radii? We'll understand. The gradual decrease in size of lanthanoid atoms and ions with the increase in atomic number is called as lanthanoid contraction. So we have from cerium to lutetium. Okay, we have all the elements which is going like this. 14 elements we have. So as the atomic number increases, the size is becoming smaller and smaller. Okay, so there is decrease in atomic size as well as the ionic size, and this decrease in the atomic or the ionic size as the number of electrons are being added up is called as lanthanoid contraction. Okay, now what is the causes of lanthanoid contraction? The major cause for lanthanoid contraction is poor shielding effect of 4f electrons. So if you see the electronic configuration, this is the nucleus. I have the first shell, second shell, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. Correct? What is the general electronic configuration? It is xenon, 4f, 1 to 14, 5d1, 6s2. So in the sixth shell we have 2 electrons, and the fifth shell there is 1 electron, and now the electrons are getting filled up in the fourth F. This is 5d and this is 6s. Okay. Now as the electrons are getting filled up in 4f, here the number of protons also is going on increasing. So what happens is the outermost electrons are being quite well pulled towards the nucleus. That is, they have good effective nuclear charge, experiencing the good effective nuclear charge. And also as the electrons are being filled also, because these F electrons have poor shielding effect. That means they are not shielding these electrons which is there in the outermost shell. They don't have a good shielding effect. Thus, the protons, when it is increasing, the effective nuclear charge also is going on increasing, because F electrons are not shielding these electrons which is there in the outermost shell. Because of that, constantly there is a decrease in the atomic radius as the atomic number is going on increasing along the period. Got it? So this is called as lanthanoid contraction. So the decrease in atomic size as we move along the lanthanoid series is called as lanthanoid contraction, and the reason for this is poor shielding effect of 4f electrons. The 4f electrons are not shielding the electrons which is there in 5d and 6s, and thus there is a good effective nuclear charge as the number of protons are increasing and the atomic size goes on decreasing. Okay, so I hope you have understood this. Next is the same thing is there. Okay, I shall just repeat it again. As we move along the lanthanoid series, the atomic number is increasing and the number of electrons and protons present in the atom also is increasing. But the electrons are being added to the same shell and effective nuclear charge increases. Same shell the electrons are added up, but the effective nuclear charge is increasing because they are not shielding the outermost electrons also, and the 4f electrons have poor shielding effect. Thus, the effective nuclear charge experienced by the outermost electrons increases, and due to this, the attraction of the nucleus to the outermost electron also increases, as result in steady decrease in the size of lanthanoid, and their increase in atomic number is called as lanthanoid contraction. I hope you have understood what is lanthanoid contraction. Okay. Next is consequences of lanthanoid contraction. First one is similarity in properties of second and third transition series. That is, in D block element, 4D series and the 5D series are similar. They have similar properties. Also, they have similar atomic size. That's because of lanthanide contraction. More about this I shall explain in the next slide. Okay. Separation of lanthanides is possible due to lanthanide contraction. They can separate the lanthanides easily because they have different atomic size. Atomic radii is different. Thus, the separation of lanthanides, all the 14 elements can be separated very easily. Also, due to lanthanide contraction, the basic strength of lanthanide hydroxides are different. That is, as the atomic size is different, their basic strength of their hydroxides are also different. Okay, so these are some of the consequences of lanthanide contraction. Here, as I told you all, from here we have picked out the lanthanide series, and from here actinide series. Correct? Now here the atomic size I told you is gradually decreasing. There is a gradual decrease, so much so that when it comes to the next element here, these two elements have similar size. These two have similar size. These two have similar size, because it is something which we have pulled from between and kept it separate. And here 4f electrons have very poor shielding effect. Here continuously there is a decrease. Because of that, if you then see the next elements after 71, when it is placed below the second transition series, both are having the same atomic size and similar properties. That's why we tell the consequence of lanthanide contraction is same atomic size between the second transition series and the third transition series in D block element. Okay. Next is about the oxidation state of lanthanides. Lanthanides show common oxidation state of +3, but some of the elements can show the oxidation state +2 and +4 in solution state, and sometimes even in solid compounds. Why is this irregularity? This +2 or +4 state is seen only when they have an empty f orbital or half-filled f orbital or completely filled f orbital. Okay, so if they get 4f electronic configuration in +2 or +4 state, then that state is possible. Okay, or they will have 4f7 electronic configuration or 4f14 electronic configuration. Only then they will show +2 and +4 state. Okay, you can see here lanthanum, it is +3 state. Then you have cerium, that is +3 +4 state. You can see they have put everywhere common oxidation state is +3, but some of them show +4 and +2 oxidation state. So the exceptions you can see here, and this is the most important question, give reason question, which they can ask again. So you have europium 63 atomic number and ytterbium, which is 70 atomic number, have the oxidation state +2 in addition to +3. Why? Because EU in +2 state has got half-filled f orbital. That is, you can see the f orbital. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that is half-filled f orbital it will get. That's why EU +2 state is stable. Similarly, ytterbium's +2 state will get 4f14, that is completely filled f orbital it will get. That is why it is stable. Okay. Same way, cerium and terbium is again having +4 oxidation state addition to +3. That is because Ce +4 state has got no f electrons at all. 4f0, f orbital is empty, and Tb in +4 state has got half-filled orbital. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Half-filled orbital, they get extra stability. That's why it's showing that oxidation state. Similarly, some more exceptions we have. +2 and +4 oxidation state tend to revert back to +3 state very easily. Thus, The ones which has got +2 state can lose one more electron. That's why they are very good reducing agents. Okay, and +4 state, if the ions has got, they can accept one more electron to come to +3 state. That's why they are good oxidizing agents. Also, Pr, Tb and Dy exhibits +4 state only in the oxide MO2 state. Okay, so that's about some of the exceptions with the oxidation state in D block elements. Under chemical properties, lanthanum or lanthanoids, Ln we will write it as. Okay, now lanthanoids, when it is burnt with air, it forms oxides. When it is treated with dilute acids, it liberates hydrogen gas. When it is treated with halogen, it forms halides. When it is treated with water, it can form hydroxides and liberate hydrogen gas. Lanthanoids, when it is treated with carbon at or heated with carbon at a very high temperature, 2773 Kelvin, it can form carbides. Similarly, when it is heated with nitrogen, it can form nitrides. When it is heated with sulfur, it can form sulfides. So you can see here how there are different reactions of lanthanides. So lanthanides, how when it is treated with dilute acid, it can liberate hydrogen gas. With oxygen, when it is heated, it can form oxides. With nitrogen, nitrides. With sulfur, it will form sulfide. Only with carbon at 2773 Kelvin, it can form carbides, as well as with water, it can form hydroxides. So these are some of the reactions which you have to know for lanthanoids. And lanthanoids, generally we are writing it as Ln. Okay. Next is about the actinoids. So what are actinoids? It is the second inner transition series. They have 14 elements and these elements are filling up the 5f series or the 5f orbital. From atomic number 90, that is thorium, to lawrencium 103, they are called as actinoids. After uranium, that is 92 atomic number, from 93 to 103, they are also called as transuranic elements or uranides, and they are all radioactive. Okay, and the general electronic configuration is radon 5f1 to 14 61 7s2. Okay, next is about the oxidation state. Actinoids exhibit a variable oxidation state. That is because the 5f, 60 and 7s orbitals all have similar energy, or they have energy very close to one another, and the electrons can jump from one orbital to other orbital very easily. Thus, it can show a variable oxidation state. But the common oxidation state usually shown by all the elements is +3 state. Okay, so +3 state is given by all elements. +2 state is given by atomic number 95 and 98 and 102. Then +4 is given by first 8 elements. Atomic number +5 is given by 5 elements from atomic number 91 to 95. +6 state is given by 4 elements, that is from uranium to 95 atomic number. +7 state is given by 93 and 94 atomic number. Okay, so that's about the oxidation states. Next, comparison of lanthanoids and actinoids. Now this is again a important question. Okay, so you have to know some similarities and some differences between lanthanoids and actinoids. So the first one is both lanthanoids and actinoids are F block elements and they are filling up the F subshell. Okay, so the antipenultimate shell only is filled. So this is the first similarity. Second is both can be represented by the same general electronic configuration, that is N-2 F1 to 14, N-1 D0 to 1, Ns2, where for lanthanoids Ns6 and for actinoids Ns7. So they have a general electronic configuration with a variation of N value. Correct? Then these atoms of both the series, 3 outermost shell are partly filled while the remaining shells are completely filled. So there are 3 shells which is partially filled here, isn't it? 6 is also not completely filled. 5th shell also is not completely filled. 4th shell is started filling up now. So there are 3 shells which is getting filled up, or it is partially filled in both lanthanides as well as actinoids. The last one, the elements of both series show +3 oxidation state. The next similarities, the elements of both the series are electropositive. You have seen they only show plus oxidation state. Did they show minus oxidation state? No. Both lanthanoids as well as actinoids show they are electropositive, and they are reactive metals and a strong reducing agent. Okay. Also, the other thing what we can observe here is the atomic radii. When we are moving along the period, the atomic radii is decreasing. We call that as lanthanoid contraction and actinoid contraction. That is, the atomic radius is continuously decreasing in both lanthanides as well as actinoids. Not only that, as they have unpaired electrons, most of them have colored, okay, and when they have same number of unpaired electrons, both lanthanoids and actinoids have similar color as well. So these are some of the similarities of lanthanoids and actinoids. Okay. Last is the dissimilarity between lanthanoids and actinoids. So except promethium, all the lanthanoids are non-radioactive, but actinoids all are radioactive. Okay, so only promethium is radioactive in lanthanoids. Only promethium is radioactive, whereas actinides all are radioactive elements. Then, in addition to +3 oxidation state, they can show only 2 oxidation state, +2 or +4. But here actinoids, in addition to +3 oxidation state, they can show number of other oxidation state like +2, +4, +5, +6, +7, etc. Okay. They do not form oxo ions. They form oxo ions like UO2, PuO, UO+, and UO, etc. And these ions are stable in acids as well as in the aqueous solution. The fourth dissimilarity is the oxides and hydroxides are less basic, but they are more basic. And actinoids, oxides and hydroxides are more basic than lanthanoid oxides and hydroxides. They have low tendency to form complex compound. Actinoids form complex compound quite easily. Okay. Last dissimilarity is the lanthanoid paramagnetic nature can be explained very easily, but for actinoids, their magnetic property is not so very easy to explain, and there is some difference in the observed value and the calculated value as well. So these are some of the dissimilarities between lanthanoids and actinoids. Lastly, we have the application of D and F block elements. That is, where exactly we use D and F block elements. If we see, the main use of D block elements is in catalyst. Okay, that is, you can see that vanadium pentoxide contact process, Haber's process, we are using iron catalyst, and then Ziegler-Natta catalyst is again made up of the D block elements. Also, we have nickel, which is used in as catalyst during reduction reactions. Not only that, manganese dioxide is used in batteries, TiO, titanium oxide, is used in pigment industries, and the one more main application is the alloys. Extraction of iron, preparation of stainless steel has got a wide usage, or that's the main application of D and F block elements. So D and F block elements, if you see, specifically D block elements are really good catalysts and they have a wide use. Also, as they are metals, their extraction we have learned, and also when they are combined, they can form different alloys to give different properties. So these are some of the applications of D and F block elements. Next, I am going to start with a new chapter, aldehydes, ketones and carboxylic acids. So I hope you have understood today's class. Thank you, my dear children. Stay tuned, stay focused.